welcome you to the last tutorial in the series of tutorials I'm organizing for my students. This tutorial is to help you prepare for tomorrow's paper. I'm very tired, so but I need to do this for you. I told you several times that we are going to write academic paper, which is compulsory, and write an academic paper. And then that is question one. What it means is that you are going to write an essay, but you will have to incorporate sources into your essay. So it is not just any kind of ordinary essay that you have to write, right? And then you incorporate sources. We did a lot of that in class, either online or face-to-face classes. Now, in writing the essay, I always advise that we develop a structure for the essay. It could be that they're asking you to discuss prevention of something, or causes of something, or management of something. But then it is not proper for you to just start talking about management or causes or prevention when you have not actually told us what the whole thing is about. So I always advise that the first introduction or the first paragraph of your work should tell us something about the background information, explain what the thing is, the definition or explanation of the concept. Then you will have to pay attention to the request of the question. What are they asking you to do specifically? Is it to discuss the causes, the prevention or something? Then that is going to take the bulk of your time, like space. You must dedicate so much space to that particular task or the request or the demand of the question. So read around things like HIV, maternal mortality, infant mortality, read around those topics. Now, so you're writing and you need to incorporate sources into your work. In marking that particular essay, we have to assign marks for content, expression, organization, mechanical accuracy, and of course, citation. Citation, you can score everything in citation if you do it well. It's either you are doing the parenthetical citation or narrative type. Whichever way, write a simple essay. You don't need to write any long essay. 2.5 pages or 1.5 pages is fine. So the quality is more important than the quantity. Now, what are you going to do? In trying to quote sources or to use sources to incorporate your work, to incorporate them into your work, remember that it's only a surname that we want. You may see a series of names, let's say Kofi, Mensa, Abuaji. If you are going to use the material, then in that case, only the Abuaji at the end, which we need. Abuaji plus a date or a year. If you add any initials, it is wrong. It's wrong. If it is wrong, it's wrong. It means that you lose 1 mark. If you did only 3 and 3 are wrong, you score 0. For other aspects of the paper, you may not score 0, but if citation is wrong, it's wrong. There's nothing like a part is partly correct, partly wrong. No. So I want to use this time to actually just talk about, just to refresh your mind on some of these things, especially citation. I think, let's say that you have something like Daniel Gemfi. You see this in the text. And after Daniel Gemfi, they credit something to Daniel Gemfi, so the text follows. The only name you need to use here is Gemfi and the 2017. So when it comes to number one, as I have here, maybe Gemfi 2017 notes that water is life. If you add anything to Gemfi, is wrong. I will be very keen on marking your work personally. And if you disobey this instruction, if it is wrong, it's wrong. Citation is wrong, it's wrong. There's nothing like it's partly correct, partly wrong. If you think that you want to add a page because there's a particular information that you need to pick, and you need to emphasize the page, then let's see number 2, Genfi 2017, column 2, notes that water is life. In that case, you must add inverted commas or into the specific material that you are using. If you are not using any specific material that appears in inverted commas, then you don't need any page. You don't need page. You don't need to indicate the page. It's very simple. Water is life. If you are using the parenthetical citation, for example, Genfi 2017, remember that in this case, the bracket envelopes Genfi together with the year. And there is no full stop before the bracket begins. If you place a full stop there, it's wrong. I have to talk the way I'm doing because I took time to teach you this and I gave you a sample in class. And I'm expecting you to look at these things to guide you. It is not a case that the whole essay is going to be just about inter-citation and then we know. Inter-citation may teach just about 3 or 4 marks out of the 20 marks. In that case, you must do it well because we taught you so much. Then, if you want to use it according to structure, according to Genfi 2017, remember that you have to cite it with the year coming after Genfi. But after the bracket, then there should be a comma. If you write according to Genfi 2017 without a comma, it's a mistake. Then whatever you want to credit to Genfi, then you put it after that. Assuming that you see a name like Rose Reed and Daniel Doku, 2 authors or 2 researchers coming up with something, then remember that it is Reed and Doku which you must use. Nobody is interested in any Rose or Daniel. If you add it, it's wrong. So maybe you want to read or read, whatever the pronunciation will be. Read and Doku indicate that because it's plural, so you can also indicate. Anyway, you should indicate that. So let's say maybe Read and Doku said water is life, and you are writing your essay, and you think that you want to use a parenthetical citation, then it should be Read and Doku. But remember that in the case of the parenthetical citation, use the ampersand, not and, as you see in the number 5. If you put and here, is wrong. And I know that by this time, okay, I expect that by this time you are familiar with these kind of things because you have had lectures, a series of lectures on this. World Health Organization, quote it as if it is just an individual. World Health Organization observes that, whatever you want to say about them, do. Or if you want to use a short form, WHO 2023, There are cases where you see a name and a compound surname like compounding like this, in which case it means that OT Barton, the whole of that is a surname. Therefore, if you are going to use it, you're going to pick all that. You cannot say OT, you cannot say Barton. It should be like this. And 2023, and whatever you want to credit to him, he can do so. I cannot give you a full lecture on citation tonight because I'm tired and beyond. Besides, it's not a lecture, it's just coaching for tomorrow's paper. So I hope some of these things can also help you to be able to produce a better essay tomorrow. If you have other questions to ask about this, you can do so. That provided that I'm not asleep, you can send a WhatsApp or maybe tomorrow because the paper is 2 o'clock or so. During the day, you can ask questions. Now, very good. So having talked about this now, the next thing is you ask a question on communication. Communication. So maybe talk about factors of communication, which people also call elements, or which some people also call the components of communication. Maybe you can read around how their importance or relevance in the communicative process. Read around non-verbal communication also. Few can read. There are many too. I remember that's a lot in class, but you read through some of them to refresh your mind. Some of the things that we did. So communication. We then after that you see question on grammar. The grammar we are talking about here is the use of dangling modifiers or misplaced modifiers and sentence fragments. These three constructions will appear in one section. What is going to happen is all of them are faulty. That is why they are there. So we are being asked to modify or to correct them. They are not faulty. They shouldn't have been there. So the fact that they appear there means they are faulty. However, it is your task to know that this is a dangling modifier, this is a misplaced modifier, and then this is a sentence fragment. I posted something to you earlier today about sentence fragment. It's just about some 5-6 slides. I don't know. And if you like, you can revise. You can visit the slides and just refresh your mind. Just take about 10 minutes to read that or less. Sentence fragment are basically, you see, just about some 2, 3, 4 words. They don't make meaning. They may not have a subject. They may not have a verb. Something is missing by all means. Either subject is missing, an object is missing, or a verb is missing. Most often, it is for you to just apply those things and complete the sentence in whichever way you think you can do it to become a complete sentence. Dangling modifiers, we know that they don't have subject basically. So you have to introduce a proper subject and trying to re-modify, trying to improve the sentence to become meaningful. We did a lot of that in class, and therefore this is not strange. For misplaced modifiers, a group of words have been misplaced. They are positioned at the wrong places. It is your duty to move it from there close to the noun that it is supposed to modify, so that the sentence will become reasonable. Very good. So that is also something that I hope you can do easily. You also academic writing, communication, and then grammar. Then you go to the Gricean maxim or the speech act theory. Gricean maxim or the speech act theory We did not discuss speech act in most of my classes. I didn't discuss most of the topic in most of my classes. I mentioned it in some few classes already. But the Gricean maxim is easier and it's more straightforward. So I always advise you to answer question on the Gricean maxim or Grice's maxim of quality. That whatever you are saying should be true. That if you lack evidence and you don't have evidence for something, don't say it. The maximum of quantity, that you don't have to talk too much and not too less, but just what is enough for the moment, in the moment of that discussion. And then we cite a lot of examples of this. And if you are going to answer a question on this, it will be proper for you to be able to exemplify, to illustrate this with some examples so that the examiner knows you actually understand. The maximum of the maximum of relation or relevance. That whatever you are saying, whatever your contribution in the communication process or communication or conversation at that time should be relevant to the topic and the discussion. Then maximum of manner, that it should be orderly, it should be brief, and you should avoid ambiguities in your presentations, writing or whether speech or writing. I mentioned in class that we can apply this principle of, for example, the maximum of manner to how we write. And so maybe it's possible to see a question like, how do you apply the principles of manner, or Grice's principle of manner to writing a piece of paper? It simply means that it should be orderly, it should be direct to the point and avoid the use of ambiguous words. You have to be orderly. I discuss A, I go to B, I go to C. The whole thing should be clear. Very good. Now, so for Grice's theory, quality is equal to truth. Quantity is equal to just what is necessary at the time. Relation, that a thing must relate to whatever is being discussed. Manner, that a thing must be orderly, must be clear. Basically, you need to actually visit your note to be able to expand those concepts fully. Now, so questions will come from those things. That is not something I'm question will come on because it's a full section and it's a topic that question must be set on them. So questions will come on them, and but the question is what I will not tell you. Now, so then we go to paragraphing. Paragraphing, there are two sections to this. Section 1, maybe question 1 to 5, is just about you see a passage, and then in the passage you're going to see minor support sentences, major support sentences, concluding sentences is a paragraph and has all the elements of a paragraph. So you got to read through carefully to know that this is a topic sentence. This is a what you call it, major support sentence. How to know that this writer has shifted from there to another sub theme in the paragraph, and therefore we are moving to another major support sentence. You have to study it. But I hope that with all that we discuss in class, it's not going to be difficult for you. Then so functions of the various sentences. This sentence is a major support, this sentence is a minor support. This sentence is a topic sentence. And this sentence is a concluding sentence. So apart from those 5 questions, which are based on a paragraph, you're going to have general questions on paragraphing. Let's say maybe what is a topic sentence? Then you see a series of alternatives, actually. Alternative A, B, C, D, which you select. You may see questions on cohesion and coherence and various categories of cohesive devices. A few of them you need to revise. So, topic sentence, maybe thesis statement, or all those things that we always ask. Cohesive devices, a few types of them, and all that. So, I hope that with this, you should be able to sail through tomorrow. If you actually have to spend some time to just go through some of the things I mentioned, in addition to whatever you think, because as a student, you may be tuned to a particular topic or subtopic or something that you know will come and you want to read it. Do so. In addition to that, you may also have to read through some of the things that I mentioned tonight. And I hope that with that, you will not have any difficulty. If you have any questions to ask, you may direct a question to me through your course prefect, or maybe take my master WhatsApp number and to ask those questions. Tomorrow, I think the paper is going to take place at 2 o'clock, and we have some time in the morning, like the morning sessions. Sometime, if you want to ask a question, feel free to do so. I do not have much to say again, except that there are going to be 5 sections: academic essay, communication, grammar, for Grice's theory, and then speech act. I sent some slides. If you want to read those, send them to you. Very interesting. Look for the various types of speech act theory, the types. Then look for maybe read around things like other felicity conditions and all that. Basically, those are the things that are on the slides there. And they are in the slides, and that's all that I sent. That's all that I was able to send to you, and I think they are very good materials. But if you can just focus on Grice's maxim, I hope you can get a question there, because Grice and Speech Act are going to be in the one section, and you are required to answer only one question. So that is it. I do not have much to say, except to say that I wish you well. Good night.